Hello, welcome to my garden, and today I wanted to give you a tour of what's growing right now in July. So let's get right into it. Here's just a quick overview of the whole garden. All the beds. There's 10 of them. 11 counting that one over there. 12 if you're counting the one by the fence. But let's start on this end today. This is my son's garden. Let's see what's in here. Lots of weeds. I have not been keeping up on the weeding, but there's some carrots. There's some zinnias that are just about to bloom. We've got a cosmos. Lots of beans. I interplanted a bunch of beans in here. We've got kale down there on the bottom that's not doing great, which is fine by me because this specific type of kale I don't really like the taste of, so my son just planted it for fun. We've got bolting lettuce. The flowers are closed right now, but you can see them right there, the buds. And this thing I'm about to pull out, I think it was arugula, and it's dead. There may be some seeds in these pods, but scallions, of course, more cosmos, and hiding in here is a tomato plant. That's this bed. Right across from it over here is my oldest son's bed. You've got some cosmos, and in between the cosmos is a tomato plant. So I really want to trim these back so the tomato can get more sun and actually grow, poor thing. But we've got beets, a row of beets in here that I'm probably just gonna pull out. I doubt that they're still growing in there. Their leaves are yellowing. So there's that. Not a lot in the middle aside from weeds. You can see pepper plants, the ones that look like this. Those are pepper plants. There's a few of them scattered around, but they're not doing that well because this bed is in the back of the garden and doesn't get very much sun. Here's our corn experiment. As you can see, they're not very tall and they're already trying to flower. So don't think this worked, but I don't know if it's because of how close they are or if it's just because I have bad soil in general, because I've been having trouble with my soil in the entire garden. So I don't know, you might have to try this a different year when my soil is better. So there's our little corn patch. And then we have a lot of zinnias on this side, which I really enjoy. I'm glad he planted these here. And then here's another bed. My son who planted a ton of flowers. These two sunflowers, they already bloomed and are done. So, you know, it's not the prettiest when flowers are producing seed. They turn all brown and ugly. But same thing here. These bachelor buttons are producing seed and flowers, both. So I believe this is a marigold coming up. What else we got in here? This poor zinnia down here is not getting enough sun, so it's small and kind of dry. Well, it's dry because I'll talk about that later. But he also has sunflowers, which are doing wonderful. Guys, as far as heat is concerned in the summer, sunflowers, they don't care. Probably why they're called sunflowers. But they don't need as much water as everybody else, and they just look great. They do great with the sun. And they're so bright and sunny and beautiful. Anyway, so back to the garden. Scallions in there. We have a zinnia coming up right here. Beans back there. This whole bunch of carrots. You can see those pepper plants. This is a baby sunflower coming up. There's also one on that side over there. Can you see it? That one right there. This is a row of cucumbers. And let me see. In here are a few tomato plants. There's one here. There's one there that already has tomatoes. And then back there is, that's thyme, mint in the pot, more tomato plants. And that's this bed. Got our trellis coming across the way to another bed. This is another of my sons. So there's my 4 right there. These 4 beds belong to my boys. What do we got here? Ooh, these are about ready to come out. I usually don't pick them until they're turning red. I know some people pull them when they're orange. And I do that towards the end of the season, but at the beginning, when I'm just getting tomatoes, I like to let them go almost completely red because I found the flavor to be better that way than picking them and letting them ripen inside. So this one's coming up. Here's some more that are starting right there. And then on this tomato plant too, there's some in there, almost ready. And here, so I got some coming. Those yellowing leaves, that's another because of the soil. So yeah, it's all in my garden. But we're working with it. This is a row of cucumbers. I'll probably thin them as they get bigger. Scallions. Those little ones are beets, but I mean, they haven't gotten much bigger than that, so they're probably not gonna get much bigger. Weeds, of course. Some more bolting lettuce. Their flowers are about to open. They only really open in the morning. So we've got a big old patch of arugula that's just gone crazy. It's flowering, it's all over the place. There's carrots in here. Carrots and weeds. But this over here, I want to trim back because it's growing out of the bricks. So I'm probably gonna trim that back. And that's that bed. I'm all winded. I keep like bending down and standing up and bending down to show you these plants. So this bed used to be garlic, like 100% garlic, and we harvested it. It's inside, and now it is pepper plants. So you can see these bigger ones I planted first. We talked about this in another video, and they're looking pretty good. You see parsley down here. The smaller ones I planted later, and some of them are doing decent, like those 2 over there, but this one is really struggling. It just is. Every day it looks so we'll see what it does. I don't know. And I planted, these are zucchinis, and then there's a couple more over there, and the stuff that I planted in the middle didn't come up, so it's all right. Might find something else to stick in there. Over here we have more tomato plants. I'm trying to think of, what are these called? Tomato plants. A lot of these are actually growing pretty well. And those are starting to put on some height. So in August, I bet they're gonna be pretty big. And these are watermelon plants, but they've been that size for like ever. So I'm pretty sure they're done. They're not gonna produce for me, which is fine. It was just an experiment. Lots of experimenting. And this other bed over here was the onion bed. There's still a couple onions, but there's not very many, and they need to be picked. Like this one right here, you can see that bend right there. Once it does that, it's time to pick it. The nutrients aren't, it's all floppy. See, this one is still strong. There's no give to it, but once it starts flopping like that, just pick it. And it's probably gonna be, see, it's not even the biggest onion, but it's done. It's like, no thank you. But see, the rest of these, it's not time to pick them yet. I might anyway, because this bed is really wet. We got a lot of rain last night. This, I believe, is an echinacea coming up, which I'm really excited for. I would love to have perennials just in the garden. So that's great. Over here, that's a little watermelon plant. Then we have tomato plant. Little tomato plants, but they're not doing much. Cosmos, more tomato plants, and that's a marigold on the end there. And then on this side, we have weeds. No, I think, no, some of those are weeds. Some of those are where my husband weed-eated yesterday. Zucchini, the other stuff I planted didn't come up, but we have a beautiful sunflower, which makes me extremely happy. I love when these things are in the garden, you guys. I absolutely love it. So if you can see, it just brightens it up. And then over there, zinnias. I love it. I love the flowers. I'm always going to plant flowers in my garden, my vegetable garden from now on. So this bed, can you guess what I did differently? Look at these two. Look at this. Look how full and green and happy. Do you remember from previous videos? Did you hear my lisp? But do you know? It's those water hoses. So in here, I don't know what this is. I honestly don't. Is it clover? What is this? It just popped out from in between. Can you see those leaves? If you know, tell me in the comments, because I don't remember planting this. It just popped out from in between. See, there's more over here. But this bed is full of basil. I don't know if you can see. It's all over the place, just everywhere. And that is because last year, the basil was over here, if you remember. And there was a video where I was talking about how I was just pulling all the flowers off the basil and throwing them over here. Guess what? It worked. Look at all this. This is like, I don't know if I can show you. Okay. This is my knee right here. It's taller than my knee. I don't know. It's like, see, my knee is down here. I don't know. What is that? Mid thigh, lower thigh? That's how tall it is. Then we have, you can see the bean leaves in there. It's just really full. You can't even see. I can't see in there to weed or anything. It's just full of basil, beans, those purple flowers, which I still need to find the name to. It's on my table in the house. I just have to look at it. And then sunflowers. You can see those down there. Here's another sunflower that's about to bloom. My phone refuses to focus on it. That one right there. Focus. Nope. All right, well. So there you go. There's that bed. Let's move over here. This bed is similar. Remember, I planted it similarly. It is also flourishing. Not quite as much. This bed always did better. But look at the difference. Water hose. Or soaker hose is what they're called. No soaker hose. No soaker hose. Can you see? No soaker hose. Soaker hose. I can't even see the bed. Okay, anyway. So here's this one. This one is not as lush and beautiful as the other, but we have a lot of beans and bolting lettuce. Lots of carrots in here. Here's a tomato plant that's growing. Here's another one over there. This pretty thing. And then all these bolting lettuce just doing their thing. Oh, there's some basil in there. It's like a surprise. What are you gonna find? Look down in there. That looks like an echinacea, which is really exciting. You can see all my scallions. Most of their heads, their flower heads, are done. I've already pulled them off, and see, there's that one I still need to take down. And I spread their seeds in the different beds, so we'll see the scallions that come up. And it actually does look cleaner without these because they're no longer pretty. They're kind of, they just look dead because it's been a while. So I like how it looks better with just the scallion leaves. Branches from our tree we had to prune. And that's this bed. You could see there's some beans growing over here. See them? I mean, they're all over the place. I haven't been keeping up with them. I have a problem with that every year. Yep, they're just all over. Anywhere you see a bean plant, there's beans. Yep, there you are. There they are. Oh well. I'm just happy they're growing. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. In this bed with a bunch of volunteer basil. I did not even scatter basil seed over here, so I don't know. Scallions. This last bed is just doing its thing. Look at that. I don't even know what these are. What are these? They're not even making like really flowers. I don't know. I was gonna see if they grew and were really pretty, but they're kind of not. Like, I don't know. I'm not impressed. Because I have a bunch of them. These, and then there's a bunch over there too. But if they're not gonna do much, then I'm probably just not gonna let them grow next year. They're impressive as tall as they get. Like, this is about my height right here. Let's see. A little shorter than me. I love these. I love these. They're so pretty. They've got a bunch of stuff just I need to pull out. It's dying. Still got some flowers. They're producing lots of seed, but I trimmed back a bunch of arugula this week. Over here, same thing. Look at this. It's all brown. It needs to come out. It's about time for you to leave, buddy. So this bed needs to be cleaned up. Got a lot of oregano growing over here. You could see this fluff ball is from a carrot. Look at this oregano. Look at, can you see? The sun's kind of making it difficult. But it bushed out and produced a ton of flowers. It looks much prettier when the sun is not making all that contrast. But I've been enjoying this, and it smells wonderful when you walk by. My parsley fell over, but it's in there. And there's also thyme and lemon thyme back there. I don't know if you can see it. So that's this bed going wild. Bed by the house. I love, look at this. Look at it. Look at all the zinnias. Oh. We even have some calendula coming up. They're looking pretty sorry because they're not fond of the heat. But look at that. What are you doing here? Well, there is, yep, calendula. Lots of beautiful zinnia. I love it. You guys, I love these. That's why I planted them here. Because they do well. Even by the house, where there's not as much sun. Look at them all. Now I kind of wish I planted more closer together. Of course, dill. Lots of dill. And then those weird tall plants that I don't know what they are. There's a lot of them. Then this back here, I don't know what this is. But that's this bed. Doing good. That poor dill is falling over. But I love it. I love the flowers. Now before we look at this bed, because I always forget this side. There's not a ton over here, but I do have 4 pumpkin plants. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that over there is a zucchini plant that's growing out of the compost. A bunch of, whoa, I'm zoomed in, so it's like hard to keep the camera steady. But those are a bunch of tomato plants. That's my compost pile. And let me see, there's flowers coming up. They look pretty bad right now. You can see the leaves are yellowing because I forgot to water literally one day. One day. Not even the whole day. I usually water in the mornings, and yesterday morning I forgot, so I watered at night instead, and my plants were like, we're just gonna die because you didn't water 4 hours earlier. Like, it was so frustrating. But that's why they're still looking wilty even though it's in the morning, because they were upset yesterday with me. Here's a sunflower. We've been getting, it's been hot. It's been, I don't know how many weeks straight of 95+ degree weather, so I have to water daily. And when I don't, my plants let me know about it, because the whole garden last night when I watered was just wilty and dry looking. And I was like, really, you guys? You couldn't stand 4 hours? I know, it's hot, it is. So keep on your watering, guys, because if you don't, your plants will just up and die. I'm glad mine didn't, but I think they're gonna have to work a little bit to come back. I love it, look at that. It looks so nice. And it looks especially nice because my son mowed and my husband weed-eated, so it looks really good. All right, last thing, let's come over here and look at the flowers. Which, by the way, they don't look as fabulous as I wanted them to. So let's start on this side. That's the end there. Watch me trip. So the ones over here are pretty small because they never got a lot of sun. They're in the shade. So you can see Cosmos sunflowers. That's a zinnia that hasn't opened yet. Bachelor button. And they lean away from the fence because they're trying to get sun. Look at this one leaning. My nasturtiums didn't do well. Look, another one leaning. Poor nasturtium down there. Cosmos are doing pretty good. I'm just waiting for them to bloom. They'll look gorgeous when they bloom. They bloom more towards the end of the summer. And then we have these really tall ones that are leaning, and they produce a bunch of sunflowers. Here's another one that's even taller but hasn't made a bunch of heads yet. Some zinnias that are leaning out, a bunch of cosmos that are leaning out. So that's the downfall of planting next to the fence, is your plants are going to lean out trying to catch the sun. This is a cool looking sunflower. It's a darker color. These are really tall. But these aren't what I thought they were. I thought they were the ones that produced one head instead of like fanning out like that. I don't think I like that. I did buy some mammoth sunflower seeds, so I'll probably plant those instead next year. Bachelor buttons down there, nasturtiums. This one already bloomed and died. I was trying to get them out of the yard, so I leaned them over. So I'm just gonna have to tweak a bit what I do with this bed, because it's just hard. I'm trying to find the plants that will grow the best against a fence, but they're still pretty. Look at all these in here. There's a lot of weeds because I didn't keep up with it, and now it's like, how do I even get in there? But I like the yellow flowers. I like these especially. I wish I had more of them. This is the only, well, I guess there's a couple more over here. No, where is it? There. I wish more had bloomed because I scattered seed all over, but these are cool. And then I like those back there. And these. But look at all that grass looking stuff, that's weeds. This big tall thing is a weed. I need to pull it out. These tropical looking leaves are actually trees that I need to pull out. So it just got crazy in here. When you stand, I'll show you, but when you stand back and look at it, it doesn't look terrible, but I know that they're not what I planted. But I don't know, we'll see. I'll work on it. And then you have this one over here and my sunflowers. And a lot of the ones back here are kind of falling over, but the ones further on look better. These over here. So we've got all these little ones, just lots of them. Got that big one up there that bloomed and died, but it's blooming some more. If you can see those two that aren't open yet. But this one, when it was open, was gorgeous. I got a picture of it. And then down here is my echinaceas. And they have just been stunning. I really enjoy them. But flowers all the way down. Making my driveway look beautiful. These ones don't get as much water because my soaker hose stops like right here. So I need to fix that next year. And that's about it. I hope you're doing well in your own garden and that you're making it through the hot portion of the summer. But fall is coming, it's gonna cool off and we'll have to start all over again. But it's been a good season and I'm enjoying it like I always do. So I hope you are too. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.